Steve here, and today we're going to do I'm going to read from the tarot card reading, the cards I picked just a few moments ago. But first, we're going to say these words out loud. Can't make you. But we're going to say these words out loud. I connect with my deep self. And when you're saying those words, just notice if anything changes. I connect to my higher self. I connect to my highest self. I ground myself to the healing center of the earth. I open myself to the healing power of the one consciousness. I let go of anything not useful to me now. And if you choose to work with the seventh dimensional beings, the Hathors, you can say, I choose to work with the Hathors. And then I'm just going to say, I ask that we be placed in a field of protection while we do this work. And ask the higher self to take us through the portal of time to the event that would be of the highest good to release and integrate at this time. And I invite all souls to return to the event, to release and integrate the energy of the event for themselves. And I ask that they be placed in a field of protection while they do their work. And upon arrival at the event, I ask the higher self to assist us to release and integrate all energies of the event, gently, easily, fully and completely, on all levels and through all space and time. So just pay attention to your body. Just notice as you're listening to the words, just notice any tension, any flow. Notice how you're feeling on a physical level. Notice as I read the words how you're feeling on an emotional level. And as I read the words, notice how you're feeling on a mental level. Notice what these words mean to you. And the first card, we got two cards for today. The first card was the Four of Cups. And the cups are about emotions, and the four is about stability and structure. And so in the reading, and I'm reading from this book, Finding the Fool by Meg Jones Wall. And it's a lovely tarot book if you're wanting to expand your collection of tarot books or you're wanting to get into tarot. It's a great, both an advanced book and a beginning book. And so this is what Meg has written. We may have found strong community and powerful ties, yet the bloom has gone off the rose somewhat, and we find ourselves bored, withdrawn, closed off. Everything exhausts us. Boundaries are not a bad thing, and I would take that further and say boundaries are a good thing. There are times when we feel like we need to protect ourselves, when we feel the need for limits or rules around how much our hearts other people have access to. This is particularly true if we are someone who has endured abuse or trauma. Putting walls up around our emotions can feel necessary for emotional security and safety. And if you're feeling, so we've gone back to an event, the higher self has taken us back to an event for us to release and integrate the energies of that event. We've gone back to the event on a soul level, yet we remain on a conscious level in our bodies. to do the work in our bodies as our soul releases and integrates the energies at the event. It is possible, and some people choose to do this, where their consciousness goes back to the event with their soul. Then you may have a more graphic experience of the trauma you're releasing, but it's not what I suggest. Although I did it for years. It's not what I suggest, because all that needs to happen is the soul needs to release and integrate the energy of the event. You don't need to see it. I'm just saying that. If you feel like you do need to see it, go ahead. It's not for me to judge. It is for me somewhat to suggest. Four is the number of protection, safeguarding stability, and sturdy, reliable foundations. And with the suit of cups, we often find this manifest as relational discipline. If we muddy the waters and distance ourselves to the extreme, if we refuse to engage with our communities and emotions in an authentic way, it can lead to isolation, frustration, and dissatisfaction. The Four of Cups lives in this stifling, awkward place and speaks of a lack of trust or a feeling of boredom with our relationships. So we got that card in relationship to how some of us may be feeling in relationship to others in our community. And then we are also gifted the Six of Cups. Six of Cups is about harmony and nurturing and community. It's about caretaking and movement. It talks of a hopeful future. Our community has rallied around us, and our sense of hope expands, helping us to deepen existing connections and discover new ones. Part of overcoming sorrow is finding a new awareness that blessings, connections, and love have never left us. And in the wake of the Five of Cups, the Six offers us a chance for a fresh start. New opportunities for beauty and pleasure alongside remembrances of what we have been. The Six of Cups is a card of roots and nostalgic choices. When we look back on our own history and growth, we can trace the patterns of our development and remember the important relationships and experiences that shaped us. In reflecting on the cool, gentle waters that have soothed us in the past, we can appreciate the flows of the present and begin to embrace essential connections once again. From my experience in working with the World Healing Field consciously for the past 5 years, at the end of January it will be 5 years, I've noticed that there were times where it just seemed too much, and it seemed like I was being asked to do too much. And I'm fortunate that I have guides, and we all have guides. I'm fortunate to know that I have guides, and I'm fortunate to be able to listen to them. And to get instructions. So I hear it as them speaking to me inside. When I'm having a conversation with them, I can ask questions and I get some really useful information. You might ask, well, how do you know to trust them? Because they've literally never asked me to do something that seemed wrong. The only things they've asked me to do are things that seemed different than what I was doing. So I was doing this, and in the one thing in the Chinese, they always say the Chinese version of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting the results to be different. So I think that's useful. And this change that they have frequently asked me to make is counterintuitive to, no, this is the way I need it to be. And then when I make this change and it opens this up, and I open up because I have more possibility of choice. So each time we let go of one of these things we've been holding on to, and something else appears in its place, and we get to experience that something else, there is a feeling typically of going from this to this. And in spaciousness, we recognize we have more choice. Okay, so I ask the higher self to assist all the souls that return to the event to combine with that part of their soul that had remained at the event and bring that combined soul back into their body in present time with all of its wisdom, power, clarity, compassion, curiosity, and kindness. I ask all those souls to ground themselves into the healing center of the earth and open up the portal for the delivery of the energies that we agreed to bring in at this time. And I ask the higher self to bring those new energies in now. And to activate those new energies in the earth. And I let the universe know that this has been done and that it's good. Okay, one more bit of healing that you and I have done for our world while getting some information that may help us to understand in this case, the emotional energetics, because the cups are about emotions, and we got the 4 and the 6 of cups. And the 4 is not being sure of things, feeling withdrawn, like not sure where the world's going, and the world is our community. And it's feeling of like drawing away from it. And then the 6 is opening up to it and feeling that one can trust the larger consciousness. Even if at this time feels like we're in a little bit of turmoil or a lot of turmoil, depending on your perspective. But the more open we can be, the more we can see. And today in the Mayan calendar is a yellow lunar seed day. And the more open we are, the more seeds we can plant. And within the seed is this consciousness of everything it needs to become. In you is the seed of everything you need to become. And it's just a matter of flowering. It's just a matter of opening up that flower and let the wind spread the seeds of your new life. Sometimes it just requires, almost all the time, it just requires that space. And in that space, it can be easier to trust because we're opening up. We don't have to open up and jump in, but it's useful if we open up because we can let go of these old things we've been holding on to, let them be there and available, just not grasped. And then let the creativity of our consciousness bring into us new ideas, new ways of being that feel right for us to experiment with or experience. Okay, I hope you find this useful, and I hope that that all of us just keep working to the best of our abilities with these intense energies that seem to be around and seem to be changing us, and that we just decide, well, I want it to change, and so these energies are helping me to do what I wanted. All right, blessings on your day, and may this serve you well, and may we all just embrace change with spaciousness so the change occurs much gentler and with ease. Okay, now let's go change.